Haitian Revolution series of conflicts between 1791 and 1804 between Haitian slaves, colonists, the armies of the British and the French colonizers, and a number of other parties. Through the struggle, the Haitian people ultimately won independence from France and thereby became the first country to be founded by former slaves. The incubation stage consists of the problems that were responsible for causing the revolution. During the incubation stage, the slaves were being oppressed on a daily basis by the whites. They suffered from a large gap in social equality between them and the whites. There was also class tension between the upper class whites and the lower class whites. The Haitian society was deeply fragmented by skin color, class, and gender. Most of the mulattoes were sometimes slave owners themselves and aspired to the economic and social levels of the Europeans. They feared and spurned the slave majority, but were generally discriminated against by the white European colonists, who were merchants, landowners, overseers, craftsmen. The symptomatic stage consists of direct actions resulting from issues during the first stage. During the symptomatic stage, initially it began with the conflict between the two classes of whites. The Grands Blancs argued that they could represent the whole island, whereas the Petit Blancs argued for their representation. The slaves fell out of the loop because of this and argued for their own independence equality. The crisis stage involves direct conflict with either long-term or short-term debates or wars. During the late 1790s, Toussaint, a military leader and a former slave, gained control of several areas and earned the initial support of French agents. He gave allegiance to France while pursuing his own political and military designs, which included negotiating with the British, and in May 1801 he had himself named Governor General for life. Overture was taken and sent to France, where he died in prison in 1803. Jeanne Jacques D, one of Overture's generals and himself a former slave, led the revolutionaries at the Battle of Versailles on November 18, 1803, where the French forces were defeated. On January 1st, 1804, Jean-Jacques declared the nation independence and renamed it Haiti. France became the first nation to recognize its independence. Haiti thus emerged as the first black republic in the world and the second nation in the Western Hemisphere, after the United States, to win its independence from a European power. As the two classes of whites fought against each other, the slaves took advantage of this and formed their own armies, led by Toussaint Louverture. They were able to drive out all of the whites off the island. The final stage is the convalescence stage. This includes recoveries from the crisis stage. This may take years. As a result of the revolution, Haiti suffered from an embargo act from the United States and a shift from democracy to a dictatorship as a result of the former slaves not willing to go back on plantations again, which resulted in class tension among the former slaves. The legacy of the revolution was that it challenged long-held beliefs about black inferiority and of the enslaved person's capacity to achieve and maintain freedom. The rebels' organizational capacity and tenacity under pressure became the source of stories that shocked and frightened slave owners.